Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at adding buttons to a Google site. So what I've done so far is I've logged on to Google Sites and created a blank site. So first off, we're going to prepare the site ready to add our buttons. So we're going to go in, click on the cog, come down to Edit Site Layout. I'm not a great fan of the sidebar function, so we're going to remove that, and you do that by clicking on the button at the top. And we've removed that. When it comes to the width of a site, I go for a custom width, and I tend to make it about 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,100 pixels. So we'll make it 1,000 and hit enter. So we've now got the basics of our site there. So we'll close that for the moment. Now, when it comes to making buttons, some of us are fortunate enough to have Photoshop, or you can use something like Pixlr, which is a Chrome-based image creation app. My favorite of the moment is Canva. Canva's free. It's a web-based site that allows you to create images. So if we go into Canva, there's a number of preset banners, but what we're after is the custom. So we're going to click Custom Dimensions. For buttons on the front of a site, I typically go for 300 by 200 pixels, and then we click Design. It's a nice, easy to use interface. If we go search, and initially we use shapes, we can get a nice rounded edge to our button. So we choose this one. We can then click and drag that to the size that we want. We can then choose the colors. So I'm not a great fan of having an outline, so we'll make both colors the same. And then we can click on text. We can use any of their preset text, or we can just choose our own font. So we're going to use our own font. We can edit the text by clicking on the arrow. We can alter the alignment of the text. We can also make it bold, italic, and so on. So let's make it bold. And then if we click on the color, we can make it white. Now for background color wise, I think we're going to let's make it something slightly darker. That yellow's not very good, so we'll make it a red, and we'll do the same with that. Now we can obviously select the text and use the arrows here to increase the size of the text. And then when we're happy with that, we can just line that all up centrally. So we've got our first button created. If we then click on the duplicate icon, which is this one here, we can then change the color of the button and change the text. And we keep repeating that process until we've got all the buttons that we need. So we're going to create 3 buttons in this example. So again, click onto the background, we'll choose green, and do the outline green, and we'll just add some new text. Okay, so we've got our 3 buttons, red, blue, and green. We can then download those. They've saved now, so we can download, and there's a choice of downloading it as an image or as a PDF. We'll go with image. Now it's going to take a minute or so to do that. If you've got multiple images that you're downloading at the same time, it will come in a zipped format, which we can then unlock. So we'll just wait for those to download. So Canva.com, really easy to use site, great speedy way to create buttons. Means that you don't need to have Photoshop or other image creation software. So we've got our zip now. So I've downloaded that to the desktop. I'm double clicking because I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, you'd unzip it. And now I can go back to my site. So I've got my site. In order to edit the page, I need to click on the pencil icon, which I'm just about to do. Now, you can just add buttons in and images in, but it will place them one on top of the other. So you end up with a column of buttons. So I find the easiest way to get your buttons positioned on a page is to use tables. So we'll go to table. Now we've got 3 buttons, so we're going to go 3 wide. I'm going to add 4 columns to my table, and the 4th one will allow me to position the buttons centrally within the page. So I position my cursor within the table and go Insert, Image, and I'm going to look for my buttons on my desktop. So there's my first button, and we can upload all of them at the same time. So we'll upload the images. It'll just take a couple of minutes to do that. We choose the first button and click OK. And we can keep going through that process, insert, image, next one, and do the same again, insert, image, until we've got all of our buttons in place. Then, having done that, we can just move the cursor so it's beside the button and press delete, and that will get rid of the space at the top. Do the same thing again, repeat that process until we've got rid of all of the buttons. So now we've got them there, we can save that page. Now you can see the buttons are just sticking out the edge of the frame, so what we're going to do is going to go back into Edit Site Layout. I'm going to change the width, we're going to increase that to 1100. And now we can see our buttons are appearing in shot. So we're going to close that. Now the final issue we've got is the table that we use to insert the buttons is still visible. So we click on the pencil, we can then click into the table, click on HTML, and just remove the width of the border. So we'll make it 0 there, and again here the width of the border 0, and update. And we've now got our buttons appearing on our page without the table. Final thing to do is we click on an image, we can change the link to point to a page of our site. So we're going to save that, and there we have successfully created and added buttons to our Google site. Join me again next time when we look at more things you can do with your Google site.